Welcome to Good for Bitcoin, a weekly show recorded live every Friday where we recap the top events of the week and talk about everything that is good for Bitcoin. If it's built on Bitcoin, then it's good for Bitcoin. Let's get started.
Content shared on this podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. It does not constitute financial, investment, or legal advice. The views and opinions expressed are those of the host and guests and do not reflect the official policy or position of any other agency, organization, or company. We encourage you to conduct your own research and consult with a qualified professional before making any financial decisions.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to Good for Bitcoin, your weekly pulse on Bitcoin innovation. We are live on goodforbitcoin.com. Hopefully, we are live streaming on X as well. Had some technical difficulties last week, but I think we're hopefully back up and running now. Is Stretch being stretched to its limit? That is the main focus of today's show. We'll certainly get into that. But first, just to check in, Kate, how was your week?
Hey, Brennan. Another slow week. I feel like people are gone on summer vacation and just enjoying life outside of the computer and Bitcoin because we show up every week looking to report on the news and it's like, okay, what's happening? But yeah, it was, good week overall, but another slow one, I think, for us.
Yeah, we talked last week about it being kind of like a bottom signal. A lot of things were flashing that we were at the bottom, and certainly continues to feel like that.
A little bit.
Yeah, it's dead out there. There's just not a lot going on.
I know.
Yeah, we're doing our best to continue to talk about things that are happening week over week, and there are some good things that happened this week, so we'll certainly get into that. But first thing is nobody sold Bitcoin this week on the public company side, so that's pretty cool. We have Strategy. They bought some Bitcoin. They bought 1,586 BTC. Now hold a little over 846,000 Bitcoin.
Then we have Mara. They acquired 1,000 BTC this week based on on-chain data findings, and they now hold 36,306 BTC.
That one was interesting because I saw that on there, and it seemed like they have been selling off their Bitcoin. So to see them acquire 1,000, interesting. What do they know?
Yeah.
Strive bought 73 BTC. They now hold 19,105 Bitcoin.
And then we have DDC Enterprise. They bought 95 BTC and they now hold 2,899.
Cool. That wraps up the buys. So a light week for buys, but nobody sold. So that's good, I guess. But yeah, let's get into the main story. So it's Stretch, or STRC, has just been taking an absolute beating this week. It dipped to a peak low of $82.50 on Thursday, which was yesterday. And yeah, it's supposed to be $100. So lots of FUD on the timeline about strategy imploding, and also lots of criticism. I don't know if you saw, but a lot of people were reposting this old interview from Saylor from like a year ago, where he was saying that he basically came up with the idea for STRC by talking with ChatGPT. And a lot of people were contextualizing it because chat has gotten, like all AI has gotten so much smarter now.
Yeah.
But if you looked at it like a year ago, that means he was basically chatting with like GPT like 4.0, I think. Which like in retrospect was a really dumb model compared to what we have now. So a lot of people were like dunking on him because of that.
Funny.
Which is funny.
I saw like a hilarious one. It was like obviously like an AI generated version of him because he's been using like so much AI generated images, and it's like he has like big muscles, and it's like chat build me like build me like a $10 billion strategy, make no mistakes, or something. Oh, a $10 billion Ponzi scheme, don't make any mistakes.
Yeah, so lots of I wanted to like go even deeper into this. I didn't go as deep, I think, as I wanted to this week, but I don't think that this is a Ponzi. Like people throw around
No.
scam and like Ponzi
Yeah, yeah.
scheme a lot. Like that's not what this is. And a lot of people were even comparing like is STRC like the next like FTX? That's like no, like that's not. Sailor isn't like committing fraud and taking customer funds and like invest. Like it's very clear what you're signing up for when you buy STRC.
Yeah.
So yeah, a few things, a few like kind of reactions. Is on Tuesday, Strategy reaffirmed that they have quote 32 years of dividend coverage through their BTC reserve. One problem with that though is that if Strategy was to become a forced seller, the price of BTC would like of course fall a lot. So their runway would actually not be 32 years. That would be 32 years like if the price of Bitcoin was the same as it is now, which like is just not a realistic thing to say. But they were just trying to come out, and say like, we could sell our Bitcoin if we had to pay dividends and keep the ship afloat, I guess.
Yeah.
There was this message from Strive's CEO, and Strive also, has a very similar kind of digital credit mechanism as Strategy. Strive, I think, is probably number two when it comes to this mechanism of like offering digital credit to to buy more Bitcoin and put more Bitcoin on their balance sheet. And I feel like, well, I talked about this last week, and I think even the week before. The comms coming from Strategy and coming from Sailor have been really bad, in response to this. And I think there was a really good post from Matt Cole, who's the CEO of Strive. And I wanted to just say that like their comms have been really good in response to this. So there was this really long tweet that Matt Cole posted yesterday, and I wanted to just like read a couple excerpts from it. He said, "What happened today was a leverage liquidation event, not a deterioration in underlying credit quality. When investors discover an asset that offers attractive yields, relatively low volatility, and strong underlying credit characteristics, many eventually decide that owning it is not enough. They borrow against it, they lever it, and then they attempt to enhance the carry. So when markets move against leverage holders, forced selling can create a cascade. Prices fall, margin calls increase, more selling occurs, and the cycle feeds on itself. The selling becomes disconnected from fundamentals and becomes driven by balance sheet constraints." And it certainly did seem like a deleveraging of sorts to go from, $100 to down to 82. If you're offering rates that are as good as, 11.5%, for a lot of people, it's cheaper to borrow money. It's the APYs that you'd pay to borrow money is less than 11.5%. So you could, in theory, you could borrow money, you could take that money, put it in STRC, capture the spread, pay off your loan, and you would make money by taking out a loan. So that seems like that was what people were maybe doing, and this was this leverage liquidation event that happened, and people were getting delevered. But I think how I've personally started thinking about these types of assets like STRC and ASST, which is Strive's version, is that they kind of act almost like buying an LP token. And, that LP token is designed to stay around $100. As we can see, it fluctuates sometimes, right? But that's like the goal, is that it kind of stays around $100. So as a buyer of STRC, you're basically giving Strategy money. They're giving you this STRC token in return. And when the STRC price spills over $100, they're able to shave off the top and buy more Bitcoin with it. And all the while, as part of that risk of you giving them that money, you're earning 11.5% APY as a dividend every 2 weeks. And you're taking on that risk. So that's kind of how I am thinking about it and trying to like translate it into like crypto, markets. Markets are closed today because it's Juneteenth in the US. But I came really close to buying STRC yesterday. I'm not going to lie. I just, $82, it just felt like it was going to go back up. I don't know if it's going to go back up, like when it's going to go back up to exactly 100, but Yeah, it was really low yesterday, and it just didn't seem like the fundamentals of it had changed so much that
Yeah.
it was going to go to zero, right?
Yeah,
Just
that's the
it
thing.
didn't seem super risky. I didn't end up
Yeah.
doing it, but I almost
I mean,
did.
there's still time. I mean, the fact that like their
True.
balance sheet hasn't changed, like it's more like a reflection of the market. So you could take the bull case and say like, oh, this is a great time to buy.
Hmm.
It's a cheap price to buy. Um, but I don't know, like it could also go lower because like it just feels very
I know
bearish up there. So like
it does.
it could stress test this mechanism even more, and we might be reporting that in the weeks to come. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean it's a 3-day weekend, so it'll be really interesting to see what the price does on Monday when markets open back up again and people have had time to like chill a little bit and kind of digest what's happening. And it'll be interesting to see what happens on Monday if it starts to go back up or if it goes down more or kind of stays where it is and doesn't do anything.
yeah. All right, well, we can get into the next one. We've covered this a few times on the show, but this one's about Square. They've started enabling customer chosen BTC payments at Square registers. So last month, I think when we covered it, merchants had to select it for their users during each payment, but now it just shows up as an automatic toggle. So yeah, merchants can auto enable it as long as they're running Square point of sale 7.10 or newer,
Hmm.
and obviously not offered in New York or outside of the US. But yeah, I feel like this is just removing friction again here. But I still think like the biggest thing is, people don't want to spend their Bitcoin.
Yep.
But I don't know. It's just
Yeah,
cool to see them like innovating on this.
it is pretty cool. And yeah, I agree. It's like kind of more for the novelty of it
Yeah.
than anything. But yeah, you're going to be on the hook for your taxable event if you buy something with your Bitcoin. But yeah, I'll have to check the Square app maybe in a few days, and after the weekend and see if it's gotten bigger. I know last time I checked, there was only a couple stores like in like a 20-mile radius of me that like that
Yeah.
were open and accepting Bitcoin. But basically this, if you've ever worked retail, like when you're tendering a sale, right? You're excuse me, you're choosing, customers paying with cash, customers paying with credit, customers paying, whatever.
Yeah.
And the update, a few months ago was, the as a seller, you had the option of choosing like customer wants to pay with Bitcoin. Now with this update, that selection is on the customer side. So when the customer is seeing like, oh, you owe, $20 for this purchase, there's like a little Bitcoin button that they can
Yeah.
tap on their screen, and then they can just be like, yeah, I want to pay with Bitcoin, and it just happens. And then the seller doesn't have to do anything. They're just like
Yeah.
opted into this system. So
That's cool.
yeah. So
And
a
it
little
uses
less
Lightning
friction.
Rails, right?
It does.
Yeah. Very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it's using Lightning. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And then for the seller, they can, I think by default, it'll probably just automatically get converted to like fiat for the
Yeah.
seller, unless they like actually sign up for like the Square Bitcoin thing and
Yeah.
want to get paid in Bitcoin or get a portion of it paid in Bitcoin, which they have the option to do. But um, yeah, we'll have to see how it evolves, and I'll have to check back maybe in a couple of weeks once this is like rolled out to more merchants and see if that map has grown. We'll see.
Cool.
I saw this one and I was really surprised by it. Very curious to hear your thoughts, but I guess Illinois has signed this law that is now going to start taxing crypto transfers, not just gains, not just capital gains. It's going to be actual just transfers. So starting January 2027, Illinois Governor Pritzker has signed a 0.2% tax on crypto transactions into law that includes transfers between personal wallets, with the Crypto Council for Innovation calling it, quote, the most punitive digital asset tax in the country. And yeah, this is not a capital gains tax. This is a transactional tax. So all these things are taxable. Moving crypto between two accounts that you own at the same broker, So if you're moving, crypto from like one Coinbase account to like, I don't know, like a Coinbase Pro account, if they have those or something like that, shifting funds from a trading account to a vault at the same exchange, also covers withdrawals, gifts, payments to merchants, and sending crypto to a self-custodial wallet, or from a self-custody wallet to another self-custody wallet, because we all have like multiple wallets, right? And we all have
Yeah.
like hardware wallets, cold wallets, hot wallets. All that is taxable if you live in Illinois, starting in January. The obligation to collect and remit this tax falls on the exchange, not the individual, but the exchange will likely just, collect it and pass it to you as a line item like sales tax. This is a state tax, not a federal tax. So it's only if you live in the state of Illinois. Otherwise you are safe. But just as an example, right? So suppose you are an Illinois resident, you move $1,000 worth of Bitcoin from your trading account to like your ledger, from like Coinbase to your ledger. So Coinbase would collect $2, which is 0.2% of $1,000. $998 would arrive in your ledger account. And then say that you are like, oh, well, I want to actually have it in my like hot wallet instead. I want to put it in my leather wallet instead of ledger. So, right. So then you move it there and then you're taxed again. So every single time that you move it, you are taxed. So it just compounds every single time that you move your crypto around, even though you are not gaining or losing, any money. So going to be very, I mean, we just talked about tax burden, right? Of paying with Bitcoin. It's even worse because it's just if you move your Bitcoin, you're going to get taxed on it.
Yeah.
This is just crazy to me.
I think, yeah, I read this and I was just like, what? Like, what? Why? This makes no sense because, I mean, if you apply it to like anything else, like anything that's property, like it doesn't make any sense because, again, like you're not selling it, you're not trading it, like you're literally just moving it. But I think the worst part is, I mean, that's just going to incentivize people to like keep it on exchanges and like you want people to self-custody their assets, right? And so like personally for me, like this would incentivize me to leave any Bitcoin or whatever that I have on an exchange because I wouldn't want to like deal with that burden. But yeah, I don't know. Oh, I mean, I think would suck is if it goes through and then they end up making a lot of tax money off of it. And then other states will be like, ooh, more tax money.
It's just
Let's
a very,
copy
very
paste.
dangerous precedent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't
Yeah,
know.
and
I
like,
have
and
a
what if
feel.
you're like a big Bitcoin whale and you live in Illinois, like, and you're moving like, I don't think there's like a max cap on
I
it or
don't
something.
know.
Like, that's hundreds, thousands of dollars, of taxes that you're having to pay just for moving it around.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you'd get around that. I mean, I'm sure there's some kind of way, maybe. I really don't know, but I'm hoping that this dies on the spot because it's just,
I did see some people talking about that this will probably get challenged
yeah, for sure.
legally, and
Yeah.
hopefully that does happen because, yeah, it's just weird. I don't think that. I mean, you certainly have the ability if you have, let's say you have like a Fidelity account and a Robinhood account. You can move your stocks, you could transfer your stocks, from one to the other. It's a little
Yeah.
bit of a process because there's like centralized and,
Yeah.
there's just centralized, bureaucracy kind of in the way with that. But like it is possible to do, and I
Yeah.
don't know if there's a tax that's associated with doing that. So
There's just so many
yeah.
things wrong with it. Like what happens if you get scammed and then you lose your money and then you have to pay taxes on it? Like can you imagine how
Oh no.
horrific that would
Yeah.
be?
Oh geez. Yeah. Yeah, and
Yeah.
certainly like also, yeah, we've been talking about all this AI stuff too, right? Like if AI is moving money around,
Yeah.
not a good thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. One more reason to not live in Illinois, I guess. I don't
Sign me
know.
up
I don't
never
know.
for Illinois. I don't know. I feel like this won't. There's just too many things wrong with it that it's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
Pretty wild.
Anyway,
Speaking of wild, a very wild stat is that Elon Musk's net worth is now higher than Bitcoin's entire market cap.
yeah.
Saw that tweet this week and I couldn't believe it. But with SpaceX and Tesla and everything else, he technically has more more money.
He has more money than Canada. I read that one as
Oh
well.
my God, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, and
Wow.
it's his net worth is high. Not just Bitcoin; it's the entire crypto industry combined too. Because crypto is worth 2.13 trillion. Bitcoin's like about 1.25 of that. So
Wow.
crazy.
Yeah.
I guess that's what
Crazy
happens
stuff.
when you dabble in space travel, uh, robots, social media,
AI.
AI.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy.
Crazy stuff.
Um,
Saw this news, which was exciting. I'll let
yeah,
you cover it.
yeah. I mean, it was kind of announced earlier in the year, but
It was.
the integration is like now complete. So Stacks and Fireblocks are like fully integrated with each other now. So Fireblocks has like over 2,400 institutional clients that use them for custody infrastructure. And basically, the integration just like allows them to easily use Bitcoin or other assets that they might have in the Stacks ecosystem now, while basically keeping things, in custody with Fireblocks and not needing to like move things around. So it's kind of like when we talk about being able to like buy Bitcoin through your like your retirement fund. It just like opens the playing field for capital,
Hmm.
which is obviously a great thing for Stacks, but it's, a cool thing for Fireblocks clients too, especially with like Bitcoin staking coming up
Yeah.
in the summer. It's just, yeah, win-win integration.
Yeah, and we I think we talked about it back when the integration was first announced that like this was coming soon, and
Mm-hmm.
it's so important because if you're like a major institution, you're onboarded with something like Fireblocks. You're not using another custodian. You're using Fireblocks. So
Yeah.
if somebody on the BD team at Stacks is coming to an institution and saying like, "Hey, do you want to sign up for dual stacking, or do you want to sign up for like Bitcoin staking that's coming out?" Um, I mean, it's an immediate deal breaker if
Yeah.
they're on Fireblocks and that's not available. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a big deal. So pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
All right,
Someone is
last one
mowing my lawn
is
next to me. I'm sorry if
it's
there's
okay.
noise. I'm like, who's
Filter it
there?
on in post. It's all good. Last one is BlackRock's new ETF has launched, Bitcoin Premium Income ETF. The ticker is BITA. Launched the other day on June 16th. Sells options against Bitcoin to pay investors a steady income stream. So it's a yielding Bitcoin ETF, I guess.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Cool.
Yeah. Just more yield coming
Yeah.
to the market in various ways. So we'll see which one wins. I guess maybe they'll all win. Who knows?
I mean, if it's on Bitcoin over
There you
time,
go.
probably it'll
Yeah.
win. Yeah. All right. Well,
All
I guess
right.
that wraps it up for the week.
That's
Again, a bit of a
it.
quiet week on the
Yep.
news front. Yeah, hopefully things start to tick up a little bit, but we will, whether it's one news story or 10, we'll keep covering it every week.
Yep.
Thank you everybody for tuning in. It was a earlier episode today, but we still wanted to get an episode out. So yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in. Go subscribe to the show. Go give us a review. I don't really mention that enough. Go give us a review on whatever podcast app you're streaming on. Helps us a lot.
Yep.
And yeah, we will see you all next week.
Awesome. See you guys. Have a good weekend.
Bye.
Bye.